Rochelle here, Dreaming English. I actually recently got a request after posting our show about International Women's Day and women's rights. I had a request from Laura to talk about my own experience with independence. So I think what I'd like to share with you is how my experience with independence was very different from that of my grandmother. And I'm going to talk about my grandmother, my mother's mother, Gloria, and the experience that my mother had with independence. So my grandmother, she was Italian and born of Italian immigrants. And her first experience was having to quit school in the 6th grade. She was growing up during the Depression, and she was forced to quit school to help support her family. Next, when she had met my grandfather, he was French and he was going to be going to World War II. He was drafted, and she wanted to marry him. But that was not acceptable by her Italian, especially her Italian father, my great-grandfather, for her to marry a French person. So she had to elope. So she had to run away and marry my grandfather. So she didn't have that independence to choose who she wanted to marry. The only way she could do that was to be running away and doing it without her own father's consent. After the war, when my grandfather came back, she wanted to have a career as a dress designer. She was very wonderful at designing clothing and sewing, but she ended up becoming a mother, and she stayed home to take care of her children. So she missed that opportunity to really have the career she wanted. She then eventually went to go work in a factory that produced sunglasses, like these sunglasses. But she didn't have that opportunity to have the career that she wanted. Now, my mother, my grandmother's daughter, had a different experience. She got to finish all the way through high school. And right after high school, she did have the opportunity to go to college if she wanted. But she ended up getting married. And she became a mother that stayed at home with me. After divorce, she ended up eventually going to school. And she actually went to school right here. I'm actually parked over by Mount Wachusett Community College, and she went to school here, and she got a degree to be a secretary, but she never went to work. She stayed home with me, and she never worked. But she taught me always, after her divorce, she taught me that I needed to take care of myself, that she said, always make sure that you can take care of yourself, that you can financially take care of yourself and take care of your family. My grandmother, on the other hand, told me that I had to learn how to clean and how to cook for my husband. And I always said, no, I'm not going to do that. Whoever I marry, we're going to both cook and clean equally. Well, I graduated high school and I went on to college. And after college, I got a full-time job and I got married. I married a Russian immigrant. I was a very independent-minded person. It soon became clear that it would be better for our family if I was a single mother and had my independence. Currently, I am an independent single mother working hard to support my 2 children. And I work hard to save for their education, to support them, and to support myself, and to make sure that I am saving for my future self, for my retirement. I've always done that from the very first time that I had a job, to make sure that I was saving for my future self, so I could always be independent. Now, what I want for my daughter, Kat, who is the partner of this channel, she's 10 years old. I want her to be independent. I want her to always be able to support herself and any family that she has in the future. She loves math and science, but so often our children go on to middle school, which is usually ages 11, 12, 13, and when our daughters go off to middle school, they decide that math and science isn't for them. Maybe they're in a classroom where the teacher favors the boys, and they get discouraged and they start to feel like, oh, I'm not good at math, I'm not good at science, and I don't want that to happen to her. I have a son who's 16, who I'm very proud of. He's on a robotics team, but this robotics team only has one girl. And it's a team of 10 people with only one girl. I want my daughter to join that team, but I want her to recruit a bunch of girls. So that way, maybe it's a team of 10, but there are 5 girls. I want my daughter to have even more independence than I have. And I want her to do that by excelling in the sciences and the maths in the places where we don't have enough girls, enough women. So tell me about your stories of independence. You can put them in the comments below. And please be sure to like and share this channel because Kat and I want to help more people. So the more people that are able to see our show, the more people we're able to help. So please help us spread the word. And thanks. Thanks for watching. So here on the left, you can see Mount Wachusett Community College. This is where my mother went to school. And I often came here with her when I was 5 and 6 years old, when there was no school, when I was sick on the weekend. I would sit in the back of the classroom while she took classes. So I felt like I grew up here. And I saw my mother graduate when I was 8 years old. I was very proud of her. But as I said, she graduated from here with a degree to be a secretary, but she never went to work as a secretary. She ended up just staying home with me and never working.